Today's trade analysis is going to be on OTRK. Just a little background information on it. It's a healthcare related stock. My more experienced traders watching this video are probably wondering why I took that trade, but I'm going to be explaining that in this video here. For the newer traders, this is a weirder setup. My first video is probably a better example of my unusual volume strategy, but this trade right here gained 70% within a couple hours. But without further ado, like the first video, I'm not going to gatekeep anything. I'm going to be letting y'all in on my unusual volume strategy. So first off, price action. For the unusual volume strategy, we're looking for plus 30% within the past month, plus 50 if you're looking for something more guaranteed. But how do we calculate that? We take the highest close of the setup and divide that by the lowest low of the month. So right here is the highest close of the setup. We can see it's at 0.6, and the lowest low of the previous month is right here at 0.15. So obviously a 300% increase, but for clarification, we got the calculator right here. So we'll do 0.6 divided by 0.15. So a 300% increase within the past month. We see that big green flag right there. Another thing, we see a resistance line right here at 0.62. Take note how this never closes above that resistance line right there. That's how we know there's a resistance line at 0.62. But if we go on the 1 hour, let me readjust. Alright, so now that we are on the hourly, we're going to look at this. You can see there's a couple setups within the setup. So right here we can see it pinched down right here. We can see it's tightening up within a range, and it retests that 10 MA on the daily right here. We can see that. But we see it breaks out right here, creates a bullish flag, breaks out, and it builds another bullish flag on that 0.62 resistance line. Take note how it never closes above that 0.62 before breakout. If we look on the daily, we can see there's history with this resistance line at 0.62. We can look right here. It pretty much retests that resistance line to the penny. I mean, you can really just put the line there and see it's bouncing off of that 0.62. But generally, the more a stock retests a support or resistance line, the more reliable that support or resistance line is. But we can see that right here. It retests it about 2 or 3 different times right here. We're also looking for unusual volume, hence unusual volume strategy. But for the unusual volume strategy, we're looking for plus 100% on that moving average 20 within the last month. We're going to be looking at the moving average 20 on the volume tab right here if you don't know what I'm talking about. But if we look on the day before breakout, we can see that average 20 is at 16.792 million. Whereas if we look at a month prior, we can see it's at 489,000. So it obviously meets that, but just for clarification, we're going to calculate this on our calculator app. So if we do 16,800,000, I'm just rounding it, divided by 489,000. So over a 3,000% increase on that moving average 20 for the volume. Very substantial increase, and it obviously meets the criteria of our unusual volume strategy of plus 100% within the past month. What's also interesting about this is if we look on the hourly, I told you we're going to come back to this, but maybe I didn't, I don't know. But we can see right here how it pinches down. We can see that volume's high, and as it's pinching and tightening up, that volume's dying. When it breaks out, that volume also breaks out, and it starts dying out again. And once that flag breaks out, we can see the volume spikes again, and it's tightening up. And throughout all of this, we can see that on the daily, all of that volume is ultimately dying down, and that is what we're looking for. Alright, so market conditions. Why did I take this trade if it's a healthcare related stock? Now, if you guys pay attention, if you're on my Snapchat, I normally advise against biotechs, pharmas, and healthcare, stocks in that, But I took this trade because it is also AI related, and Around this time, there were a lot of AI stocks that were like explosive. I even got into those. Like for example, if we go to SoundHound, we can see, what is that? Hold on. SoundHound. If we go right here, we can see that, you know, unusual volume breaks out. If we go to BBAI, we can also see it breaks out around right here. Maybe I'll do a video on that in the near future. Y'all let me know. But let's go back to OTRK. I also should mention that I had a predetermined take profits at this 200 MA. Right here we can see the 200 MA is at 1.07. So my predetermined take profits was at 1.07. Alright, so I had to go to my brokerage to record this part because my scanning software only goes so far back on the 5-minute chart. But right here on this candle is where breakout day starts. This breaks out within the first 10 minutes. As we can see right here, it closes above that resistance line at 0.62 and the highest high of the setup at 0.64. This closes at 0.66 rounded to the nearest hundredth on breaking volume. This is optimal because breakouts are best within the first hour, so this works. But my stop loss is at the lowest low of the day since this is the first 10 minutes at 0.57 rounded to the nearest hundredth. And we can see that price action go up along with that volume. That volume's explosive, and we hit our original price target to the penny at 1.07 per share, which was the 200 MA, which is perfect because after that the price action just started moving down, and that's when the stock just started tanking. I believe I covered all the aspects of this trade that I wanted to, so with that being said, that's going to be the end of this video. If you have any further questions, don't hesitate to leave a comment. And if you learned something, subscribe.